If this is you, you're probably sitting there staring at your phone again, wondering why she hasn't texted back. You replay the last conversation in your head, trying to find the exact moment things shifted. Maybe she used to reply instantly. Maybe she used to be the one chasing, calling, wanting to see you, and now, silence, it's like she vanished. But somehow you can't stop thinking about her. Maybe this feels familiar. That restless loop in your mind that never seems to shut off. You check her social media, she looks fine, maybe even happier, but deep down something tells you it's not the full story. You feel this strange pull, like she's still connected to you somehow, even if she's pretending she's moved on. You try to move on yourself, but she's everywhere, in songs and memories and moments that should have faded by now. And the hardest part, you don't even know if she feels the same. So why does it feel like you're still living rent-free in her mind, even when she's not reaching out? Listen, most men get this part completely wrong. When a woman stops texting, they panic. They start overthinking, replaying every word, every emoji, trying to figure out what they did wrong. They assume silence means rejection, but that's not always the truth. Sometimes silence just means she's feeling you more than she wants to admit. See, here's what most guys don't understand. When you chase a woman's attention, you make her the center of your world, and the moment she feels that, she pulls away. It's not because she doesn't care, it's because she feels the weight of your need, and feminine energy doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to presence. If she's not texting you, it doesn't always mean you've lost her. It often means she's feeling something she can't control. She's thinking about you, wondering why you're not chasing, why you've suddenly gone calm, grounded, and detached. That mystery, that stillness, is what draws her back in. But here's where most men fail. They break their own frame. They reach out just to check in. They send that one text hoping to rekindle things, but what they're really doing is giving away all their power, confirming that she still has control over their emotions. A core masculine principle most men never learn is this: you don't chase energy that's pulling away, you let it come back to you. Real strength isn't in pursuit, it's in restraint. A man who can sit with uncertainty, who can stay composed while everything in him wants to reach out, that's the man who ends up winning her respect and her attraction. So next time she goes quiet, don't fill the silence, become it. Let her feel the weight of your absence, because when you hold your ground, that's when she starts to realize what she's really missing. It's late. The kind of late where the world feels quiet enough for your thoughts to get loud again. You're lying there, phone face up on the nightstand, screen dark, but your mind won't stop lighting up with her name. You tell yourself you're done checking, but your thumb still hovers, waiting for a vibration that never comes. That's the moment it all changes. When you stop waiting for the phone to light up and start lighting up your own world again. You see it now. The waiting was never about her. It was about learning patience with your own becoming, about sitting in the emptiness long enough to remember that it was never empty. It was sacred. It was where your strength was reborn. You look at your phone one last time and put it down, not with anger, not with defeat, but with peace. You smile, faintly, genuinely, because you finally understand something powerful. She may not be texting you, but you finally reconnected with the one person who truly needed to hear from you all along, yourself. She's not texting you, but the moment you stop chasing her silence and start honoring your own presence, you become the one she can't stop thinking about. You scroll up through old messages, her laughing voice notes, that inside joke only you two understood, the way she used to send goodnight with that heart you always pretended not to care about. It's all still there, frozen in time, but she's not. And somehow the silence between those messages feels heavier than any argument ever could. In another apartment, maybe miles away, she's staring at her phone too. She's typing something, then deleting it again and again, because she doesn't want to look weak. She tells herself she's moved on, that she's fine. But every quiet night betrays her. Every time she hears a song you showed her, every place she passes that reminds her of your laugh, she feels that pull, the one she's trying so hard to ignore. You think she's not thinking about you because she's not saying anything. But what you don't see are the moments she stops mid-conversation with someone new because their smile doesn't feel the same. You don't see her scrolling through your profile, pretending she just ended up there. You don't hear her telling her friends she doesn't care, right before she falls silent for a few seconds longer than she should. She's not texting you, but she feels your absence. The way you carried yourself. The calm, the quiet confidence she once took for granted. That energy doesn't fade easily. It lingers. It echoes in her mind long after the messages stop. And you were caught between wanting to reach out and knowing you shouldn't. You think, what if she forgot? What if she's really gone? But somewhere deep down, something tells you she hasn't. That maybe, just maybe, She's waiting for you to break the silence so she doesn't have to, but this time you don't. You let the night stay quiet, you take a breath and realize that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, because silence has a strange way of speaking louder than words ever could. And if she's thinking about you, really thinking about you, she'll hear it. Here's the truth. Most men don't realize how much their own mind plays against them when a woman goes silent. When she stops texting, they think it's game over. They assume she's done, moved on, lost interest. But what they don't understand is sometimes she's not pulling away from you. She's pulling away from the version of you that stopped being grounded. The first false belief most men hold is this: if she's not texting me, I need to do something to get her back. That's the trap. You start strategizing, wondering what to post, what to say, how to make her jealous, how to trigger her curiosity. You make her silence about your worth, and the moment you do that, you give away your power. But here's what's really happening. Women feel your emotional state more than they hear your words. When she senses you're no longer centered, when your calm turns into anxious energy, she steps back. Not because she doesn't care, but because that shift feels unsafe. It doesn't match the grounded energy that once drew her in. The truth is, attraction doesn't vanish in silence. It suffocates under insecurity. So when you stop chasing, when you stop trying to prove your value and instead start living from it, that's when her mind begins to wander back to you. She'll think, why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? Did he forget me? That mystery, that emotional distance starts to flip the script. Here's the second false belief. If she's quiet, it means she doesn't care. No, silence isn't indifference. It's processing. It's confusion. Sometimes it's pride. She's wrestling with feelings she doesn't want to admit. Because if she reaches out first, she risks losing control. What you need to understand is that women often think about the man who stayed calm when she pulled away. The one who didn't crumble, didn't chase, didn't beg for clarity. Because that stillness, that quiet confidence speaks directly to her instincts. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. That's the shift. You lost your emotional center when you made her silence the measure of your worth. But when you come back to yourself, when your energy no longer depends on her response, that's when the dynamic changes. You stop waiting and start living. Every time you choose restraint instead of reaction, you send a silent message, I'm good either way. And that's what makes her start thinking, because now you become unpredictable again. You've stepped back into the energy that made her drawn to you in the first place. So the next time she doesn't text back, don't fill that silence with fear. Fill it with purpose. Go live your life. Get back to the gym. Focus on your craft. Rebuild that edge you had before she even showed up. Because the moment you start moving forward without needing her validation, that's the exact moment she starts feeling your presence again, even from a distance. Remember this line? The moment you stop trying to be remembered, that's when you become unforgettable. So don't break your silence to chase her. Let her feel the peace she walked away from, because eventually she'll realize she's not thinking about just anyone. She's thinking about the man who never lost himself trying to keep her. The difference between most men and the 3% man isn't that he never gets ignored. It's that he doesn't need to be noticed. He moves differently. When she stops texting, he doesn't spiral into doubt or self-blame. He feels that sting, of course he does, but he doesn't let it rewrite his value, because he understands something most men don't. Silence is just feedback, not a verdict. This is what he understands. Attraction isn't about control, it's about gravity. The 3% man doesn't chase attention, he draws it in. He's not trying to convince her to feel something. He embodies something she can't ignore. That quiet confidence, that calm energy, that rare stillness that says, I'm not waiting on your response to feel complete. Most men, when she pulls away, they panic. They start texting more, explaining themselves, asking what went wrong. They trade their peace for approval, but the 3% man, he breathes. He lets her go emotionally without resentment. He knows space doesn't destroy connection, it reveals it. If the bond was real, it will pull her back naturally, and if it doesn't, he knows he never lost anything that was meant to stay. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He doesn't try to make her feel something through words. He lets her feel his energy through the way he carries himself. His silence isn't punishment. It's power. It's the energy of a man who knows who he is, even when he's alone. See, the 3% man understands that women don't fall for a man because of how much he tries. They fall because of how much he trusts himself. He's not waiting for reassurance. He gives it to himself through his purpose, his discipline, his focus. He invests that energy back into his own life. Instead of begging for attention that should come naturally, he knows that real masculine energy doesn't chase validation. It attracts respect. He's not emotionally unavailable. He's emotionally grounded. He feels everything deeply, but he doesn't react impulsively. That's the difference. His strength isn't in what he does. It's in what he doesn't need to do. So when she's quiet, he doesn't rush to fill the silence. He lets it breathe because he knows something powerful if she's thinking about him. It's not because he chased. It's because he left a mark. Not through words, but through his presence, through how he made her feel safe without losing himself. And here's the mindset shift. A 3% man doesn't see her silence as rejection. He sees it as space for polarity to rebalance. He understands that a woman can't miss what never leaves her emotionally. So he stays rooted, calm, focused, alive. While most men crumble, he gets sharper, stronger, more magnetic. Because he knows you don't attract through need, you attract through peace. That's what she feels when she's lying in bed at night, scrolling through old messages, wondering why your energy still lingers in her mind. It's not because you tried harder, it's because you didn't. You trusted the connection enough to let it breathe. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Not the chase, not the texts, not the effort, but the quiet certainty that says, I don't need you to remember me, you will. It hits you one night quietly, not like lightning, but like a slow sunrise breaking through a long, heavy fog. You're sitting there again, staring at the same empty chat box, the same silence that's been haunting you for weeks. You feel the ache, the confusion, the constant why. But something inside you shifts, almost imperceptibly at first, as if a voice deep in your chest finally whispers you've been waiting for her to text you back. When the truth is, you've been waiting for yourself. You realize it's not her message you've been craving. It's the validation that you still matter, that you were enough, that the love you gave meant something. You've been chasing that feeling through the screen, but what you were really missing was you, the version of yourself that existed before the overthinking, before the endless checking, before your worth became tied to 3 dots that never appeared. You look around the room, the same walls, the same silence, but suddenly it doesn't feel like a void anymore. It feels like space that's been waiting for you to fill it with something real again. You breathe slowly for the first time in a while. It doesn't hurt to inhale. It doesn't hurt to just be. You start remembering how it felt to laugh without needing anyone to notice, how it felt to walk with purpose, not for attention, how it felt to be alive, not because someone loved you, but because you loved life itself. You think about her, not with bitterness, not with desperation, but with a quiet understanding. She's not texting you, and maybe she won't. But that doesn't erase the connection you shared or the lessons it carved into you. She's probably thinking about you too, not every moment, but in flashes, in memories, in the scent of something familiar that reminds her of a time when she felt safe with you. And you realize it's okay. It's okay to be missed silently. It's okay not to be chosen back, because for the first time you're choosing yourself